just as the Director of Communication indicated, the main reasons why we have summoned you here or invited you here has several activities that has gone on in our party, activities that are upcoming. But we cannot just organize a press conference and talk about our internal issues without making reference to national issues. You recall that the New Patriotic Party had to cause a complaint against government-sponsored harassment and persecution of our members. The party held demonstration and numerous press conferences on matter, reminding President John Mahama and his government that we are a nation of rule of law, and asked the NDC government to put a stop on their continuous weaponization of the state security and the judiciary against political opponents. Unfortunately, all our calls have fallen on deaf ears, but as a party, we shall not back down on our resolve to fight this injustice. It is increasingly concerning that the state security agencies continue to flout with impunity the Constitution of Ghana, particularly Article 14, on the grant of bail to persons arrested or detained. Our Constitution requires that persons who are arrested or detained be brought to the court within 48 hours or be released either unconditionally or on reasonable conditions as may be necessary to ensure that they appear at a later date for their trial. Thus, an accused person who is not tried within reasonable time is entitled to bail, irrespective of the nature of the alleged offense. However, friends from the media, you will agree with me that in recent times, certain developments certainly suggest the worrying trend where members of the New Patriotic Party are detained beyond the lawful limit, subjected to unreasonable bail conditions, and effectively denied justice. This practice contravenes Section 96 of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act at 1960, and the Supreme Court precedents, including one in Oko versus Republic and Matipebu versus Attorney General number 2, which affirmed that bail should not be punitive or withheld merely as a punishment, and that bail condition must not be unreasonable or onerous so as to amount to a constructive refusal to grant it. This is anchored on the constitutional principle enshrined in Article 19(2)(c) that a person accused of committing an offense shall be presumed innocent until proven guilty. However, under President John Mahama's administration, a person is rather presumed guilty until the person proves his innocence. This is a shame to our democracy, whereby that the presumption of innocence now turned into whereby a person is presumed guilty for him or her to prove his or her innocence. We have seen how this government has conducted itself in the Rambo-style arrest and detention of members of the New Patriotic Party. Reference to Chairman Wuntumi, Edubuaye, Abdul Wahab Hanan, Gifty Oware, Osesibe, and a host of others. Even more troubling is the perception that the judiciary has been compromised, particularly following the unlawful removal of our Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Justice Araba Tokonu. The New Patriotic Party believe that this has created an atmosphere of fear among judges and undermined judicial independence. For instance, how can a judge, the face of the law and the constitutional principle of presumption of innocence, set bail conditions for one accused person to the tune of 800 million Ghana cedis? The tune of 800 million Ghana cedis, which is even more double the amount the state spent the construction. Double. 800 million. This is indeed very ridiculous. Doesn't this effectively amount to denial of bail, which the law speaks? Judges generally, under His Excellency John Mahama administration, fear to dispense justice according to the law, because they fear that they may also suffer the same fate as Justice Tokonu. Judges are now telling us that they are not equal before the law, and are even quoting dictators like Idi Amin of Uganda, justify the unlawful detentions of citizens in our democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, even more worrying is that today we have an Attorney General and Minister of Justice, the person of Honorable Dominic Ayine, who has turned himself into a court of competent jurisdiction and pronouncing accused person guilty even before he takes them to court, or when their matter is pending before the court. He holds media trial, makes prejudicial statements, violating his oath of office and legal professions rules, which governs the conduct of all lawyers, and nobody is able to call him to order, not even minister, lawyer, who knows better that before a person is accused, being before a court, trial done, judgment passed, is what we refer to as presumption. Attorney General would rather prefer to go to the media and pronounce the person. We have a young gentleman referred to as lawyer Kosi Botwi Jr., who made some statement, and a sitting judge go ahead and threaten him that if he makes any further statement in the media, cite this young lawyer for contempt of court. But however, we have lawyer Dominic Ayine, who makes prejudicial statements, yet our judges, indeed, the animal farm working under His Excellency. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice appears to only be good at filing nolli prosequi to free his political cronies and NDC members who are standing trial for allegedly stealing huge sums of money from the state. The Attorney General has, in the past 8 months, entered nolli prosequi in not less than 10 cases, resulting in the nation losing millions of dollars of allegedly stolen monies by cronies of the NDC or members of the NDC. But however, it is very interesting that the Attorney General found nolli prosequi 3 members of his party, cronies, who were standing trial under the elsewhere administration, but rather is interested in prosecuting members of the New Patriotic Party. But if the Attorney General well for this country, certainly who have allowed cases that were before court of NDC members to have proceeded without filing nolli prosequi. Indeed, this is totally political witch hunt and persecution. It is also worth noting that His Excellency John Mahama administration has become extremely intolerant, recent, and is bent on using state institutions to clamp down on all critical voices in the country. We are witnessing a gradual return to the era of culture of silence. The police, under His Excellency Mahama administration, are more interested in arresting and persecuting social media activists such as Facebookers and TikTokers for allegedly insulting public officials or posting disparaging remarks about government officials rather than fight in our country. This level of selective justice and intolerance for dissent is eroding public confidence in Ghana's democracy and judicial system. The resurgence of culture of silence, where citizens are targeted for expressing dissenting opinions on social media, dangerous reversal of our democratic gain. If you take away these media trials going on, let's turn our attention to. We have a government which came into power on the strength of coming to fight Galamsey, which to them, the NPP administration failed to tackle. You will recall that during Excellency Nadankwa administration, we reached out to our friends, then opposition party NDC, that let's all sit together, one people. Let's have a clearly defined roadmap, devoid of politics, to fight this Galamsey menace. The words of the NDC, they said they are not in government. It is we, the NPP, who were voted for. And we have the state security, we have the state institutions to fight Galamsey. And we should fight Galamsey. They have no. Table has turned. The NDC is in government now. They have state security, they have state institutions, they have overwhelming support, even from the judiciary. But what is the state of our country? And any reasonable person in this country will know that the state of Galamsey is worse than it was in the NPP administration. And it is clear that Galamsey has become worse under this administration because you have members of parliament who belong to the NDC. You have national officers from the NDC, the region, constituencies, and even their branch who are involved in Galamsey. And it's not surprising that the security agencies are struggling to deal with that issue, because when they make effort, they are threatened by powers that be in this government. But for us as the New Patriotic Party, because we care so much about this country, we mean well for this country, doors are always open. If Excellency President John Mahama sees the need and the wisdom, reach out to us for us to have a proper roundtable discussion, combat these manners once and for all. New Patriotic gladly welcome such invitation as to address the issue. But from the way of things are going, clear that His Excellency John Mahama has failed in the fight against Galamsey. So, ladies and gentlemen, that will be one part of our press discussions with you. The next one has to do with our internal matters. Enyanu adofo mo beda mo ase sɛ Bitia motima ba NPP aswe ha na yene mo betwetwe nkomo komodie no ewo mo amienu na ne prempren so na se ntitu eye normal ekoso ye party ma ye pese Ghana for ne party fu nanso so yentimi enka wa asema bra yenka nsema esisi wo mem ha edikan NPP party no ye bonju so ekoso ewa aban Mahama emum eno ne se yaban no eye ne se wo hwe Ghana mra emra no se sebi empo nipa kra no ususu se wa eboni bi mpo ena aban soefo eye ebia security agencies for or intelligence agencies for na se empo aban asoe ya wo hwe atreten nsem from mpo a akoprim se ebedi asem na wie no akono untimi mbua ne fo tempo sempo do obi ko aban asoye no wo ha emra ne se within 48 hours no akono se went menya bibia mfa mbo no na se wo mpo a ese wugya ama no ko e bresem no ta ba court na se bia wo frɛ no naso die hu ne se ebe yo Mahama ebe yo mampani o hwɛ aban soye ebeti se yoku o hwɛ be ebeti se NIB Ghana for ho ye frɛ nipa ni bi ye frɛ Ghana for ni bi ekosa so ye kanka omo ka NPP party ho a nipa ni bi wo ha omo ko hye abankuku nu ebi more than 48 hours ebra a yese ye mo bill adekwati e ma bill ene se nipa kro no obetima ba court ne nka ne fa wodie enhye ye ma bill no so a ye mema bill and nipa kro no ebetimi atwia den koye se ye di bill no etwi nipa kro na so den so amamo we na sa ban we di bill odi manyina condition odi manyina no wo trans na odwene ho a yase den nyina koye se ye di wani ye ye ade a sabi any free wa and then we have concluded a very large made up of national members of the elections committee go around the country to meet regional constituency party and also with our external branch at what we refer to as our airborne that will be used questions where there are issues, solve those issues. For the first time, even though this should have been an internal exercise by the party structures, we invited aspirants for the presidential elections, send their reps, presidential elections, send their reps, witness this exercise. So that the way and manner that the exercise was conducted, they are surely going to have a free, fair, and efficient election come January 31st. And come this Thursday, I'm told the presidential elections have their own press rights, but out. Again, the National Council also constituted a committee that referred to as the Amnesty Committee. The Amnesty Committee has been set up by the National Party, i.e. the National Council, so that at least in the spirit of reconciliation, the spirit of bringing all our members together, Amnesty Committee at all issues that will come before the committee, make sure that we facilitate the process granting amnesty our members. And we know when the verification committee went round, several issues that came up. Issues of pension, issues of membership, or issue of qualification, all those issues came up. And we have received the report. And the report will be given to the Amnesty Committee. Look at it, advise the party. I'll use this platform to mention the members of the Amnesty Committee, our friends, so that our members will also note those who are members of the Amnesty Committee, them to reach them. The chairman for the Amnesty Committee, Honorable Enimedu Entry, Member of Parliament for Asante Achim Central. Also have Mr. Peter McMenu, former national chairman of our party, member, Mr. Divine Agohun, Greater Accra Regional Chairman as member. We have Deputy Director of Communication, Abi Salifu as member, and our Director of Research, member of the Amnesty. Ladies and gentlemen, the party understands the period we find ourselves in, that indeed there is a contest on who becomes the flag bearer of our party. Whenever there is a contest, the tensions are always high. And it's possible, and certainly, people will make certain utterances which are or distract peaceful coexistence that exists in our party. As and when this issue comes up, the party take the necessary step to prepare it by bodies. Party has also received petition from some concerned members regarding Honorable Koku Asante Patin, Member of Parliament for Asante South, alleged remarks, some actions said to him which find both unfortunate and inconsistent with the core values of. Therefore, those petitions were to the disciplinary committee. Again, as we are planning for the presidential primaries, that will not be end of our internal. So as a party, we need to also prepare for future elections that will come. After the receipt of those proposals, party organize national delegate conference, various proposals or party. And indeed, I'm happy to say that their work finally come to an end, with them submitting the new amended constitution. The party have a copy in hand. That is the new amended constitution. And the coming days make it available to our members. One of the key highlights of this amended constitution is to address a long-standing issue or a long-standing misrepresentation of falsehoods that has been peddled against the NPP, and not just even the NPP, even our forefathers. People have always said that the New Patriotic Party, even our forefathers from the UGC, DCP, UP, PP, PFP, NPP, always struggle. They stand the propaganda, the falsehoods, temptation, distortion, our political opponents. And this has always been that as a party, we have always and only focused on governance and principles. But we feel that the time has come that we should not allow our opponents to continue lies and propagandas against our party without having a strong battle force in the party. this constitution, that issue that has pertained even in free, independent, and even public interest in our constitution. I can assure you, going to the 2028 elections, the NPP is going to have a strong, vibrant communication outfit that will withstand any propaganda from our opponents. And indeed, as part of reorganization, to make sure that you operate in a free, fair, and all-inclusive manner, whereby members of our party and those who are even aspiring or those who want to become members of our party have smooth platform to join our party, giving easy route for them to join. Indeed, Article 3 of our party's constitution talks about membership. And if we refer particularly to Article 3.4, it reads that any citizen who desires to become a member of the party be enrolled for membership in the polling station, any parliamentary constituency where the citizen resides is from, or in any external branch. So, as part of reorganization and also to make sure we streamline our activity and avoid future acrimony or future conflicts in our internal elections, the party strongly directs that the base of our parties are the polling station, and therefore, as part of our strategy to strengthen our base, there should be polling station meetings at the various polling stations once a month. Again, to address issues at our polling station level, in any future elections, the position of the party is that you can only become a polling station executive when you vote at polling station. Members should take notice of it. Going to our next elections, only those who are members at that polling station can become polling executives. And where we have clusters of polling stations, for instance, in one place you may have about 3 or 4 polling stations, where referred to as maybe A or polling station, and they are all within one locality, like maybe a school. For them, they can have what we refer to as cluster polling. And when it comes to the elections, our members should take notice that only those who reside in that cluster, that polling station, first executives. Therefore, it is important that our members get their membership card. I'm happy to announce to you that starting next week, we are continuing with the issuing of membership card to our members. And the processes shall be that 1, anyone who wants to register for party membership ID card, visit our website, which is www.newpatrioticparty.org. Download our membership registration form. If you are unable to download the form online, individuals can get a printed copy from any constituency, region, or national party. The completed forms submitted at the polling station meet for delivery to the constituency office, or those who cannot submit their forms at the polling station meetings and submit same at the constituency, regional, or national office, have been assigned to the various regions and constituencies. Print the membership card for those who complete their registration in line with Article 3 of the party's constitution. And I use this means to entreat all our members to take this exercise very serious and take part in the activity. I will end my point with respect to our internal reorganization by again making reference to our constitution, Article 3(4)(b)(7), which talks about qualification member. As a party, we don't want to get to a point whereby we are holding polling station elections, electoral area elections, constituency elections, regional, national, or external branch elections, whereby people qualify based on article that talks about members of standing. And to address that issue, it is important, as members of our party, you are supposed to pay your dues. Only when you have paid your dues that you can take part in our internal elections and also stand voted for as an executive of our party. And this provision is strictly enforced. Make sure that every member of our party standing, if you intend to vote in our internal election or to contest for a position in our party, or in due course, invite the National Treasurer run us through how a member pay his or her dues, so that that member becomes a member standing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll end by reiterating the point